Have you ever looked at someone at the absolute top of their game and just wondered, how? Well, in this explainer, we're going to tear down the myth of natural talent and get into the real science of what it takes to be great. Don't undermine the work I've put in every day. That's a quote from NBA legend Ray Allen, who had one of the prettiest jump shots in basketball history. And he hated it when people called it a gift, because to him, it was like they were completely ignoring the thousands upon thousands of hours he spent in the gym, building that shot from scratch. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Is becoming an expert about winning some kind of genetic lottery? Or is it something that's actually built through a specific kind of effort that really anyone can apply? So first, let's just tackle this idea head on. This belief we all seem to have that exceptional people are just born with some kind of special, innate gift for what they do. It's such an easy trap to fall into, right? You see a chess master, a concert violinist, an unbelievable athlete, and your first thought is just, wow, they were born to do that. But what the research shows is something else entirely. And if we go back to Ray Allen, his own story just completely shatters this myth. Everyone saw this flawless shot and called it a gift, but the reality? His own high school coach said his shot was actually pretty bad when he started. Ray took that poor shot and through relentless daily work, he systematically rebuilt it into something so perfect, people just had to assume he was born with it. So, if it's not some magical talent, then what is it? Well, it turns out the real gift is something every single one of us already has, the incredible, amazing adaptability of the human brain. After decades and decades of research, the science is pretty clear. The critical factor isn't some pre-installed talent for one specific thing. No, the universal gift we all share is our brain's capacity to change, to literally rewire itself based on what we do. And I really want to stress this. When we say the brain changes, that's not some fluffy metaphor. It is a hard biological fact. The brain's physical structure changes, just like a muscle gets bigger and stronger when you work it out. Okay, take this famous study on London taxi drivers. To get their license, these copies have to memorize this insane labyrinth of 25,000 streets. It takes years. So scientists scan their brains, and what do they find? The part of the brain that handles spatial memory, the posterior hippocampus, was physically, measurably larger than in other people. All that mental training literally grew a part of their brain. And this adaptability, what scientists call plasticity, is just incredible. In people who are blind, for instance, the brain doesn't just let the visual cortex, the part for seeing, go to waste. Nope, it rewires it. So when a blind person reads Braille, it's their visual cortex that lights up. The brain basically found a new job for that unused real estate, repurposing it to feel and interpret through the fingertips. Okay, so our brains are these amazing, adaptable machines. How do experts actually put that to use to get so good? Well, the answer lies in what they build inside their own minds. The key, the absolute game changer, is that experts build what are called mental representations. Now, these aren't just simple memories. Think of them as incredibly detailed, complex webs of information that let them see patterns, process information, and make decisions way faster and better than the rest of us. Here's a simple way to think about it. Remember how you learned what a dog is? At first, you just have a few random facts. It's furry, has 4 legs, it barks. But over time, with experience, all those facts merge into one rich, solid concept. Now, when I say dog, a whole universe of information is instantly available to you. Experts do that, but for their field. And this is why experts literally see the world differently. To a casual fan, a soccer match can look like total chaos, just people running around. But to an expert player, they see this beautiful, complex, constantly shifting pattern. They can almost predict the future because they understand the deep structure of the game that a novice just can't see. And if you want the most mind-blowing example of a mental representation in action, look no further than blindfold chess. This is where a master plays an entire game, sometimes multiple games at once, without ever looking at the board. Get this. Back in 1924, a grandmaster named Alexander Alekhine played 26 games of chess, simultaneously. He sat with his back to all the boards, a runner would tell him his opponent's move, and Alekhine would just call his move back. He was tracking all 26 games, that's 832 pieces, entirely in his head. That's not magic, that is the power of an unbelievably well-developed mental model. Now, Pures, the best part. This isn't just for chess geniuses or basketball superstars. This whole process, it's available to every single one of us. Let me tell you about a guy named Dan McLaughlin. He was a 30-year-old photographer who decided to put this whole idea to the ultimate test. He quit his job to do something he knew almost nothing about. See, he was just tired of this whole idea that we're all stuck in little boxes based on what we have a natural talent for. He wanted to prove that if you put in the right kind of work, you could build expertise in pretty much anything.
So, with almost zero prior golf experience, he created the Dan Plan. The goal? To put in 10,000 hours of highly focused, deliberate practice and see if he could become a professional golfer.
And you know what? The results were incredible. He started small, using only a putter for months on end. He tracked everything. After 2 years, his golf handicap was already really solid. By late 2014, he was playing at an incredibly high level, with a handicap that put him in the top tier of amateur golfers. He proved, step by step, that this kind of practice gets real, measurable results.
Dan's story is such a great example of a universal truth. This isn't about becoming a pro athlete. It's for anyone who wants to learn to code or play the guitar or just get better at what they do for a living. It's about taking control of your own development and literally creating your own potential.
So what this all comes down to is that the limits we think we have, a lot of them are just stories we tell ourselves, not actual biological dead ends. And that leaves us with one last really important question. If expertise really is built, not born, what will you build?